So Michael Gerber is telling me, when I met him, he was telling me, James, you know what? You're a great trainer. Congratulations. That is the technical aspect of a consulting and training business. Guess what, James? That is not even the most important part of growing a training and consulting business. Hear me, it's not even the most important part. In fact, it may be the least important part. To say that I have been selling for many years, James. In fact, James, hear me, I'm one of the best. I'm a world-class sales professional. And therefore, I can successfully run a successful Salesforce organization. Michael Gerber says that's a myth. That's a freaking lie. Sabi ni Chris, bakit ko ba sinabi kay James ituro ito? Are we in the right workshop? You are in the right workshop. Hear me, my friends. How many world-class bakers do you know who opened their own bake shop business and closed their bake shop business in record time? Thousands. How many teachers do you know, world-class teachers, who opened their own schools and closed their own schools in record time? Thousands. How many cooks do you know who are world-class cooks, who open their own cooking restaurant business and in record time close their own restaurants? Thousands. Because the myth says that if I know the technical aspect of the business, then I also know how to run this business, is a myth. It's a lie. So now let me go deeper and irritate you some more. Okay, some of you are saying, okay, James, I'm getting you. And I would like to give this concept a chance. So you're saying to me now, okay, James, I hear you. I know a lot of bakers, great bakers, who open their own bake shops and fail. So yeah, let me give your concept a chance. And then you say to me, but James, at least accept the fact that what I know still, referring to the technical aspect of the business, you say to me, at least, James, accept the fact that what I know is at least the most important part of the business. At least accept the fact, James, that the baking, the haircutting, the teaching, the selling is the most important part of the business. Now hear me, my friends. If you will listen carefully to Michael Gerber, you will hear him say this. What you know, referring to the technical aspect of the business, is probably the least important part of the business. Now that statement has raised a lot of eyebrows worldwide. Can you imagine Michael Gerber have the audacity to even say that what you and I know, referring to the technical aspect of the business, is actually the least important part of growing the business? Now that's irritating. So Michael Gerber is telling me, when I met him, he was telling me, James, you know what? You're a great trainer. Congratulations. That is the technical aspect of a consulting and training business. Guess what, James? That is not even the most important part of growing a training and consulting business. Hear me, it's not even the most important part. In fact, it may be the least important part. Now, let's just take for a moment. Now I'm saying to you, if I will accept the statement, let's just accept the statement for the next few seconds that the most important part of the business is the technical aspect of the business. Let's just accept that for a while, okay? Let's just accept that for a while. That the most important part of the haircutting business or the salon business is the haircutting itself. Let me just accept that for a while. If that is even true, my friends, if that is even true, how come Ben Chan, the owner of BenchFix, runs a very successful salon business and the guy doesn't even know how to cut hair? If what you're saying is true, that the technical aspect of the business is the most important part of the business, I challenge you, my friends, it's already available on Netflix. The title of the movie is The Founder, I guess. I hope I'm right. The story of Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's. That is one of your assignments before I see you again next Monday, is for you to watch that movie on Netflix. Those of you who have seen it would understand what I'm about to say. Those of you who haven't seen it yet, this is a wonderful assignment for all of you to watch the movie. And if I'm wrong, please type it on the chat box. If I'm not mistaken, the title of the movie is The Founder or The Founders. And it's the story of the life of Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, the one responsible for making McDonald's the world-class business as we know today. Hear me, my friends. If the most important aspect of the business is the technical aspect of the business, how come Ray Kroc did not even, at one point, fry a fry or flip a burger? He did not. He doesn't even know how. Hear me. If the technical aspect of the business is the most important aspect of the business, how come I know so many people who bake better than Julie Gajonko? You know what I'm talking about? Julie's Bake Shop. I know so many people, and I think you also know a lot of people who bake better than her. But their businesses cannot even come close to the success of Julie Gajonko's Julie's Bake Shop. If, in fact, the technical aspect of the business is the most important part of the business, how come you, who bake better than Julie Gajonko, cannot even come close to the success of Julie's Bake Shop? So you see, my friends, this is irritating. Now I'm gonna talk to you again, BM Chris. Now I'm gonna zero in again to you, UM Aquina, and Ricky, and Robin, and Mark, and all the others whom I have not mentioned but joining us today. How come, listen, how come there are branches and units who are outperforming you? And you say to yourself, you are a better salesman. Bakit, James? Eh, mas magaling ako magbenta sa taong yun. How come his unit is doing better than mine? How come I'm a better salesman than that person? How come his branch is doing better than mine? Because the technical aspect of the business, according to Gerber, is the least important part of growing the business. So let's summarize. To think that the technical part of the business, to think that if you know, here's the first part. Let me summarize before we proceed. To believe that since you know the technical aspect of the business, you can automatically run a business successfully in that type of a business is a myth. That's the original. Actually, if you read this in the book, Michael Gerber calls this the fatal assumption. Write that down, and you will come across this powerful concept, the fatal assumption. Because the fatal assumption is at the heart of the E-Myth. I'm gonna word this to you differently on Monday, but I'm laying the groundwork so that you and I better understand, and you and I can better take in the great lessons of the E-Myth. And you are gonna hear me word this probably a bit differently, but let me just say this again. At the heart of the E-Myth is that belief that if I know the technical aspect of the business, the baking, the cooking, the hairstyling, the teaching, then I also know how to successfully run this business. To be more specific to your group now, since I know how to sell, which is the technical aspect of your business, since I know how to sell, then I should be able to successfully run a sales organization business, Michael Gerber says is a myth. Now here's the extension of the myth. Here's the extension of the myth. The extension of the myth says, to believe that the technical knowledge is the most important part of growing a business, again, is a myth. So number one, to simply believe that technical knowledge can grow a business is a myth. Number two says that the technical knowledge is the most important part of growing that particular business is also a myth. So now you're probably asking in your minds, probably you're saying, so James, are you telling me that I don't have to be a great salesman anymore? I'm gonna answer that. Hold on. So James, are you telling me that I don't have to be a great salesman anymore? Are you telling me that I don't have to be a fantastic teacher anymore? Are you telling me that I don't have to be a world-class baker anymore? Are you telling me that I don't have to be a magnificent and awesome cook anymore? Hear me. That's not the message. That's not the message. I'm not telling you to stop being a great salesman. I'm not telling you to stop being a great baker. All I'm saying is this. If you start the journey of starting and growing your own business, your own bake shop business, your own salon business, your own sales organization business, all I'm saying is this. The technical knowledge is not the most important part anymore. It's still a part of it. It's still a part of it. Hear me. Of course, hindi mo naman pwedeng tanggalin ang baking sa bake shop. Hindi mo naman pwedeng tanggalin ang hair cutting sa salon. Hindi mo naman pwedeng tanggalin ang selling sa sales organization. But Michael Gerber is saying, you have to be convinced that that is not the most important part of the business anymore. If you're just baking, continue to bake. If you're just selling, continue to sell. But the message of the book says, once you start the journey, a different kind of journey, which is starting and growing your own sales organization business. Once you start the journey of starting your very own restaurant business, then the technical business becomes the least important part of the business. Hear me, my friends, the least important part of the business. It's still a big part of it. It's still a part of it. But it's not the most important part anymore. Eto na. Tinanong na ni Akina. You're reading my script. So now here's the question. So now, James, if the technical part is not the most important part of the business, what is? Right? If the baking is not the most important part of the business, if the cooking is not the most important part of the business, if the selling is not the most important part of growing the business, so the next big question now is what is? And you're going to be irritated with my answer because my answer is, I'll see you next Monday. My answer is, go and read some more. And I'm going to see you again on Monday because this is only the first part of a 4-part series. I'm just laying the groundworks. Now, those of you who said, you know what, this book sounds interesting and all, you know what, yeah, let's have James entertain me on Monday. Let me see if I'll be convinced to even pick up this book. I tell you, my friends, do yourself a favor. The book is going to change the way you see things. The book is going to change the way you do business. And it's going to change you first and foremost. And then it's going to transform your business altogether. So I'm just laying down the groundwork. I'm irritating you as much as I can. Cliffhanger. So yes, the most important question now in our minds is, so James, if the technical aspect is not the most important aspect, then what is? Read the book. I'll see you on Monday. I promise I'll see you on Monday. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. You'll find me still sitting here in this very corner with my 3-panel painting inside my condominium unit on the 17th floor of this freaking building. I'll be here. And I'm going to see you again. But go ahead and read first. Alright? Alright. I don't think we have a lot of questions because if you will ask me what it is, I'm not going to answer. But I'm just laying the groundwork for now. That's the entrepreneurial myth. To believe. Di ba sabi nga natin, what's a myth? A myth is a widely held but false belief. Unfortunately, it's a widely held but false belief. And that belief says, James, ang galing ko maggupit. James, ako na nagpayaman sa may-ari nito. Ilan ng hairstylist ko? Ilan ng hairstylist ko sa Bruno's, sa Bench Fix. Ang kakwentuhan ko, James, alam mo, 10 taon na ako rito. Ako na nagpayaman kay Benchan. Sabi ko, anong plano mo? Magsasarili na ako. Sabi ko, bakit? James naman, sa galing ko to maggupit. For sure. For sure. If Michael Gerber is there in front of us, he would say, you're believing a big lie. That's a big lie. It's an important part of it. But you will understand as we move along. Okay? Yun muna. Baka matempa kong banggitin, hindi na lang. I'll stop.